All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our pre-draft party presented by USAA and our WOW and Redskins Salute members. We are so excited that so many people are already on. The number just kept rising and rising and rising. So thank you so much for being here. We really hope everyone obviously is staying healthy, safe, and at home, but more importantly, happy. So we are super excited about what's to come today for our pre-draft party, as well as, of course, the draft happening and kicking off tonight. It is our pleasure to host you virtually. Now, we obviously wish we were in person, but we're going to have a great time tonight. And I really want to make sure that we thank our sponsor, USAA, for helping us come together while physically we are apart. So hashtag Redskins together we're apart, and we are going to have an amazing next few minutes. Now, I am Janine Samuels. For those of you all that don't know me, I am the in-game host for the Washington Redskins. I am also the co-host for the WOW podcast, and I am a former 8-year cheerleader for the Washington Redskins. So, of course, I bleed burgundy and gold. I love Redskins all the way to the core. And I am joined tonight by Stephanie and Alec, and I will introduce them in more detail in just a bit. But for the event tonight, I want to make sure that you all know what we have in store, because I want you all to wait until the end and make sure you stay with us the entire evening. Now, the NFL draft chat and Q&A. We are going to kick off things with Mike Nouns and Santana Moss. So you're going to have the opportunity to join in and ask questions of them a little bit later on. So you want to make sure that you start thinking about your questions right now. And since we all love giveaways, right? And a chance to win prizes, we're also not only going to have one, but two pre-draft party competitions for a chance to win some pretty cool stuff. So you obviously want to stay all the way until the end. Now, I do want to make sure that you all know how to use Zoom, especially if this is your first time using this platform. I know a lot of us are starting to use Zoom and getting more familiar with it because of the situation that we're currently in. But I just want to make sure you all know how it's going to work so that you don't feel like you're missing out on those competitions that I talked about a little bit later on. Now, you'll probably notice on the bottom of your screen or on your phone that there is a Q&A button. So we obviously want to use that button for our Q&A portion. So if you have a question for Mike or Santana, that's the button that you're going to want to use to ask your questions. Now, you'll also notice that there is a chat button. Now, that is for our competition and our giveaway portion. So really make sure that you use the chat button for that. So if you are putting in your answers to our competition in the Q&A and you think that you are a winner, you're not, because we will not be looking at your responses. So you really want to make sure that you're typing into the correct window. Now, last but not least, we will not tolerate any appropriate or vulgar comments in either the Q&A or the chat function. So please be respectful and responsible throughout the virtual event. I know I didn't have to say that, but I just wanted to throw that out there to remind everyone. And now that I have gotten over and finished with all of the house cleaning items, I am ready to introduce Alec and Stephanie. So first of all, thank you all so much. You all are going to be my partners in crime for the next couple of minutes. Alec is the new lead of Redskins Salute, and Stephanie is the new lead of Women of Washington, and she is one of my co-hosts for the WOW podcast. So if you wouldn't mind, Alec, could you just introduce yourself and give us a brief overview of what we have to come as far as virtual events in May?
Oh my God, absolutely. Thank you so much, Janine. Thank you everybody for being here, for attending. I know we probably haven't put my face to Salute yet. I'm still very new, but I did join in August. And prior to that, I was with the USO, so for about two and a half years. And my background is military impact. I'm so excited to be working with all of you and our Salute members. And more importantly, I'm excited to be working with USAA, the official Salute to Service partner of the Washington Redskins. They've been fantastic all the way through. Obviously, we would have loved to be with everyone at MGM tonight. Obviously, COVID is a very serious issue right now. So our goal tonight is we want to connect both WOW members and Salute members, military families all over our area, and come together as a community. That's one of the most important things that we can be doing right now with Stephanie's platform and with my platform. And thanks to USAA, we can really just bring together our families, our spouses, and the women of Washington and as one strong community. That's the goal for tonight. And Janine, thank you for mentioning our May events. I want everyone to continue checking in on Redskins Salute, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We have a lot coming up in May. Sorry, I don't have COVID. I'm good. We have a lot coming. No, I'm all good. We have a lot coming up in May. We have a virtual Murph Challenge on May 10th. We have a virtual career panel if you're ever interested in working in sports and how to transition your military skills into skills that relate to the sports world. We have executive White House chefs that are going to be helping us out with some family fun programs later in the month. We have Chalk Talks. We have so much going on. I just need everyone to continue checking in, continue engaging with us, and continue working with us. We're just happy to be here and happy, to continue serving the community. Obviously, everyone has seen the National Guard is at FedEx Field. We're doing everything we can to support the local military nonprofits. It's what I do. It's my background, and it's just a pleasure for the entire Redskins organization to connect with you all tonight. And that's what I wanted to say tonight. Sorry, it was a mouthful, but again, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Redskins Salute, for staying engaged and staying with us.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
All right,
Okay.
Stephanie.
So, hi everyone. My name is Stephanie Jajokian, and I transitioned from director of the Redskins cheerleaders I've been involved with cheerleaders for 16 years, over to Women of Washington and our Redskin Rally program. So I may have seen some of you at our rallies or at our Women of Washington events, but it has been an amazing transition. I absolutely love working with the Redskins and in all these different capacities. We have some different events coming up. I was really happy to work with Alec and Janine on this event. I've done military tours with the cheerleaders. Gosh, I think of 20 tours at least between when I was in the NBA and the NFL. So, giving back to our military is near and dear to my heart. And beyond that, for women, the WOW, the podcast that we're doing is, all to connect and empower women through sports. And so we are having coffee chat check-ins on Saturdays that Women of WOW can sign up for to just see what's going well, maybe what's not going so well with one another. We had one this past Saturday, which was amazing. And we'll have another one this Saturday. We also are going to have a virtual Cinco de Mayo happy hour, because sometimes that's how we're getting through right now. And then coming up, we'll do some fitness events, some virtual fitness events that will be with some of our coaches, coaching staff of the football team, and then some with just trainers where we'll do Pilates and yoga. So just trying to keep it all fresh and different and keep us motivated and inspired. The WOW podcast comes out at least 3 times a month. So I hope that you guys are listening to the WOW on any of your favorite platforms, whether it's Apple, Google, YouTube, or the Redskins website. We're on there. And we have an empowerment segment at the end of each one. We have some amazing guests like Doug Williams' wife, Rhonda Williams. She was on there. Sarah Crennan, who is crushing it as a VP for the Yahoo Sports. So lots of great things that both of our platforms are doing, but it wouldn't mean anything if we didn't have you guys. And so thank you for being here today and joining us. Like Mark said in the chat, HTTR, together strong. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and thanks to both of you for getting this organized, getting this plan, bringing these 2 platforms together. Some people don't even realize, Redskins is so much more than football, even though that's what we go to the games for. That's what we're looking forward to on Sundays, Monday nights and Thursdays. But it's also about meaningful platforms like this. So I have to ask you all, if you don't mind, just how did this idea come about? Because obviously we're all starving for connection. We're all starving for Redskins football. And with the draft not being normal this year, like, how did you come up with this idea to do this pre-draft party that I feel like our fans really appreciate?
So, Janine, that is a great question. Again, initially, we were supposed to all be together at MGM. I mean, me and Stephanie wanted to work together on this from the start, primarily because USAA, another great moment from them, they want to connect our spouses and women in our community. They want to focus on keeping the military engaged. Right now it's PCS season and families are moving all over, and COVID-19 might be slowing that down, but at the same time, people are still new to our community. So again, they're just focused on engaging our military community and making sure they feel connected and a part of everything. So I think bringing our 2 platforms together virtually was not only important, but it's essential right now. So we owe it all to USAA again.
Yeah, wonderful. And just to kind of underscore with the help of USAA and obviously the Redskins organization deciding that just because we couldn't be together physically, we needed to figure out a way to still connect virtually, because not all teams are doing this. You know, within the host community, I communicate with some of the other in-game hosts. And unfortunately for this other particular team, and I won't even say who, but they completely canceled their party altogether. So kudos obviously to both platforms, to the Redskins organization, and obviously to USAA, which is an amazing lead into what we would like to do next. We're going to basically just kick things off with a salute to service moment by USAA, and we're going to invite a few of our participants to please now join us on screen.
Takes one moment, dear Lord.
All right, here they start. They're going to start to come in now.
Exciting. Stephanie, I know you know some of the WOW members that'll be joining us.
Yes.
As well, right?
Cash. Yep. Cash is joining us.
Wonderful.
I actually got to meet for the first time when we had our coffee break talk the other Saturday. So that was pretty cool.
There she is.
Hey, awesome.
What's up, Chris?
We should have one more.
Steven.
Nearly. Where are you at? And we all know the last guest here.
Whoa, there he is. Rally captain.
I think we're good to go. I think these are our guests. These are our special guests tonight.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for showing your beautiful faces on screen. And we'd really like to thank the sponsor of the event tonight, USAA, as the official salute to service partner of the Washington Redskins. USAA has generously provided food for the National Guard operating the COVID-19 testing clinic at FedEx Field this entire month. We're proud to partner with USAA in their military support initiatives and join them in thanking the National Guard members on the front lines against COVID-19. So once again, thank you so much to USAA for making our pre-draft party tonight possible, along with all of the other support that you provide day in and day out. All right, awesome. Well, thanks so much to everyone, and we'll be sure to bring a couple of you all back on maybe a little bit later on. All right, so now it is time for our Redskins alumni to join me. So it is my honor to bring on two amazing gentlemen that I had the chance to hang out with a little bit at home at FedEx Field at some of our home games. 7th round pick in 1977, drafted by the Buffalo Bills, joining the Redskins for 5 seasons, and Super Bowl champion Mike Nelms, and a first-round draft pick in the 2001 draft by the New York Jets, and then playing for the Redskins, not 1, not 2, but 10 seasons where I actually had the opportunity to cheer for him on the sidelines as a Redskins cheerleader, Mr. Santana Moss. So obviously we want to say thank you to both of them for being here. Mike Nelms, for those of you all that don't know, was a defensive back, and Santana Moss was a wide receiver. And they both also played as punt returners for the Washington Redskins and were selected to the NFL Pro Bowl while playing in Washington, D.C. So again, thank you so much for joining us. How are you all doing tonight, gentlemen?
Doing lovely. Thanks for having us.
Of course, anytime. All right, so let's get into this draft discussion. But first, I really just want to talk about your thoughts on the upcoming season as it stands right now before the draft even starts. So notably, the Redskins brought on head coach Ron Rivera. His tenured 9 years with the Panthers, he literally did not waste any time. He already brought life to the team, and I feel like a lot of energy to our Redskins fan base already with free agency acquisitions of seasoned veteran and linebacker Thomas Davis, a familiar face in our cornerback Kendall Fuller, and young talent in quarterback Cal Allen. Yeah. So what are your thoughts? I'll start with you, Mike. Is there reason to be optimistic, excited, happy about this upcoming season?
I think so, because I've been in exile for a while. I've been in hibernation. Like you said, I bleed burgundy and gold, but I have not been following the Redskins because I can't stand losing. And when they hired Ron, I did a little research and I was like, whoa, you talk about perfect fit. I mean, perfect fit. I think this guy is going to do the things necessary. And I kind of love free agency, how you work that thing. I think he's going about it the right way. And I think we've done well. That's perfect hire.
Yeah, I know with the news, with everyone that I spoke to, there was this sense of just optimism overall, just because of Ron Rivera, his record, what he was able to do with the Panthers, obviously not knowing what the future holds for us, but that I feel like gives a lot of people hope. Santana, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I was one of those guys that I'm always optimistic about, every situation. And year after year, since I've been retired, I'm still following, the team. I'm up there on NBC as an analyst, and you hate having to go through the motions. I had to, a couple of years ago, just find out how not to feel like I was a part of those losses, because I would actually get on the show at night after the game was over and be pissed off and showing my frustration and anger. So just to see Ron get in here, bringing in Jack Del Rio as our defensive coordinator, some of the, off-season moves already, even with all the stuff that's going on with COVID-19, knowing that these guys can't prepare together right now. Everybody is doing Zooms and just trying to, stay, socially distanced as possible. I still have a lot of confidence coming into this season, if we have a season, knowing that this guy is a leader amongst men. He's going to make sure these guys are ready by any means necessary.
Most definitely. And that's one thing that we're constantly hearing about Coach Rivera, is that he demands excellence and that everyone is going to have to work for their job. And it's not to say that people didn't have to do that before, but it's one of those things where people know that that's his track record. Yeah. And it's just interesting that I think probably all Redskins fans feel this way, even if you aren't a player or an alumni or a former cheerleader. A Redskins loss is your loss. And so I know that I avoided games for years after I retired, but it was because I missed being at FedEx Field. And then a few years later, it was because of frustration and just wanting to get that win. And so I feel like fans now really want that win. And so let me ask, I'll go to you, Santana, first. Do you feel like we need more picks in order to be truly competitive in 2020? A lot of people seem to feel that way. Do you think that there are any holes in the Redskins game right now that need to be filled in order for us to really have a strong start for the season?
I do believe that we have a lot of improving to do on both sides of the ball when it comes down to it. But I think if you look in the past 3 to 4 years, we've been building successfully well on the defensive side. Now, the one thing that you might question is our secondary, because to me, that seems to be the area where it's kind of gray when it comes to the guys that we just, had before, the guys we just got rid of, and just who are we going to get this year to bring in? Yes, we brought back, Fuller, and knowing what he brings to the table. He was a guy that played well as a rookie, and then we dished him out of here and brought in Alex Smith from Kansas City. Now he's back. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a guy that we know we can count on. But along with that being said, defensively on the front end, I think linebackers and defensive line, we're pretty strong there. And after tonight, with my fingers crossed, hoping that we, go out there and get the guy who I think that we have that's basically given to us in Chase Young, I think that makes us a lot more dominant than we were last year. Offensively, to me, I think that's the biggest hole. I think, not really knowing the quarterback position. I have a lot of confidence in Haskins. I think he can get the job done, but, he was a young buck last year, and he has to have that, maturation period where he can really grow and become that leader. With things going the way they've been going this year so far, it's hard for that guy to be able to be in the building and get that step and get that, that time in with his guys. But I still have confidence, and I think he can get it done. I believe the left tackle position is where I'm scratching my head at, because we all know that not having Trent last year, not having Trent probably after this draft, because I've been hearing rumors that he might get dealt this draft. We got to find a replacement that's going to be sturdy and steady that can protect our blind side. Because if you can't get out to the quarterback on the defensive side and protect the quarterback on the offensive side, I care less who you have. You have to be able to do that. And that's what we need to protect, we need to be stronger on our offensive front so we can protect whoever's the quarterback, because we have a lot of key weapons in the backfield and on the outside.
Yeah, and you know what? Like this sport, I feel like more so than almost any other sport, like every single position is so important, right? It's not a one-man show. And
Yes.
you basically just talked on like kind of the things that the Redskins are likely thinking about as far as positions go. I kind of want to just ask, as a league overall with all teams, Mike, like if you try not to show favoritism, obviously, to your own position, do you believe there are positions in today's game in general that teams really need to focus on?
Yeah, you hear a lot of people talk about it and say it, but I think it is true. I feel like the O-line makes a big difference because it allows you to do well with a decent running back, a decent quarterback, and decent receivers. If the O-line can give protection, pass and run, I mean, they're making holes. Anybody can run through a hole. You don't need an exceptional running back. If the quarterback has ample time, then you don't need an exceptional quarterback. So O-line really can take care of a lot of ills at once. And it really allows the team to, a lot of flexibility.
Most definitely. And I feel like when the quarterback trusts its line, the quarterback can focus on what he needs to do when that ball is snapped. When you're worried about getting sacked or someone, chasing you down, you're thinking about that. You're not thinking about who's open and who you can throw it to, right? So it really is, I agree, that O-line is really important, especially to the quarterback. What are your thoughts on that, Santana?
He hit it dead on. I mean, if you can protect the quarterback, like I said before, and you can make holes and make lanes for that running back, it's no question what you can do on the offensive side. Folks fail to realize you don't have to have Jerry Rice on the outside and Walter Payton in your backfield. You can, all you need is players that's going to, go out there and get the job done. If you're in the NFL, those coaches that got you there know that you can get the job done. So regardless of who the names are, if you can just, set it up for these guys to play well and do their part, they're going to come through. And I had so many arguments and, from my time of playing, just telling folks half of the reason why you don't see us playing the way we should have played at times on the offensive side when I was playing is because of those problems, not having the protection for the quarterback or not having the lanes for some of our best running backs. So when you can have that part of the game, on hold or down pack where the quarterback don't have to go out there and feel like he has to win the game every play, then everybody can play stress-free and go out there and do their assignment and get the job done.
Yes, get the job done, get some W's, and make everybody happy, right? All right, so let's talk about the draft tonight because that is obviously the reason that we are here. And I know, Santana, you already kind of put it out there who you think Redskins should select. We have the second pick. This is literally the highest pick since 2012 when we selected RG3. So in your opinion, what should the Redskins do?
Oh, no question. I think, dealing with what we've been dealing with the last few years, it's kind of odd how this thing has been almost panning out. Every year in the first round, we've been picking guys that's going to contribute to be a part of where I see us going sooner than later. People probably might think I'm crazy about this, but I've been saying it, that if you can get that defense strong, you have a chance to contend to be a Super Bowl, or you have a chance to get into the postseason where you can contend for a Super Bowl. And I think that's what we've been doing. Folks want to see that now. Folks think that when you pick a guy that year, you're supposed to go. No, it takes time. And I think adding a Chase Young that I feel like he's given to us, it's on a platter. They basically bringing it to us, say, here you go, make the right decision, take this meal. He's there for the taking. Adding him to what we've been trying to build for the last few years is definitely that puzzle piece that we've been looking for.
All right. And so, Mike, I see you shaking your head. So does that mean you're in agreement, or do you have another scenario that maybe we should consider?
No, I'm in agreement. He fits in because in my philosophy is a lot, you take the best person available. Mm-hmm. He's the best person available. And he happens to fill a needed position. So done deal.
All right. So, hey, 100% on Chase Young. So let me ask you, what do you feel the second overall pick should be? Like if you had to maybe, let's say Chase Young isn't available, what next? Then what should we do? Any suggestions?
I don't have no suggestions. He's going to be available, and they need to make sure that that happens. You know, when you think about scenarios, and this is something that I've been asked all week, what's the best scenario if we trade down? If we say, you know what, we want to opt out of that pick, and we want something, you know, we want to bring in more. Just you know, saying if they go that route, I don't think they're crazy enough to do that. But you would have to give the Redskins almost something more than 2 first-round picks and a second-day, you know, high pick and third-day high pick. But it's just crazy to me because there's so much talent out there. I think what we need besides a Chase Young, like I think we're gonna probably go out the 2 today as an offensive lineman, a left tackle, and I'm not sure who that guy's gonna be, but I know we have to fill that void one way or another. And I think this draft has a lot of them. I think a lot of guys are going to be going out early from that position, and I believe we'll have one too. Just not sure where he'll land or be picked at.
All right, makes sense. Now, as former standouts at Baylor and Miami, have you kept up with college football? Do you have your eyes on anyone specifically as far as the college players that you're kind of curious where they might fall in the draft this year? Mike, I'm going to come to you first.
Oh, I have not kept up that much, but I would like to know. I'm curious about Tua to see what's going to happen with him, but that's it. Nothing big.
Okay, what about you, Santana?
I saw a stat the other day, and it was talking about the University of Miami was 3rd amongst all the other teams in college football that has the most players that's on a 53-man roster in the NFL. And we was 3rd with 36 players. Now, after all these years, I've been removed from not having those glory days no more, and we haven't had that many, you know, special teams. We still have a bunch of guys out there. So no question have I kept, you know, up with my school and looking at guys. And we have a few guys that I'm fans of that will be coming to the draft tonight or going to be picked either tonight, tomorrow. You know, so have it. One of the guys is DJ Dallas. He's a running back. He's a young guy. I've been watching him since high school. I was a fan of his on social media while he was playing in high school, and I saw him throw up the U throughout his high school years, and he came to the U and did his thing for 3 years. Now he's out. Another guy's a linebacker. He was one of the studs we had. We had 3 studs back there, but he's one of them. Michael Pickney, I believe his name, number 56. Not sure where he'll land at, but he's the guy that I got my eye on. And the last guy, he's a receiver. Like myself, had so much potential. We didn't use him well. Jeff Thomas. I promise I see this guy being one of those weapons in the NFL someday, because he's a guy that you can look at like a Odell Beckham. Like, didn't have the team or the quarterback to get him the ball in college, but I'm almost certain that when he gets into the NFL with the right team, they're gonna make sure he's leaving games with his tongue hanging out his mouth, because he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, and just talking about Odell Beckham and the rumors going around there with the trade, maybe with, you know, there's just so much possibilities and so many different options. But just talking about some of the players that you just mentioned, I know, like, just in the past, you always hear about the powerhouses in college, of the Alabamas, the Clemsons, the Ohio States. Do you feel like there are any other college football programs that can compete at this point?
Oh, if you ask me the question, I think they all can. I do believe in powerhouses, and I think what they've been doing in Alabama is ridiculous, and I don't see it stopping no time soon unless Saban just find a way to say he's done with it. LSU is on the rise again. They've been always mentioned. You look at LSU, Alabama, Clemson, what they've been doing. You know, I don't see them, you know, not being a contender every year. But there's a few more teams out there. What I want to see is those Florida powerhouses get back to their dominance. Florida State, Florida, and Miami. I think college football is best when you see those teams from Florida playing dominant football. And the only thing that I think has been our Achilles heel for the last few years is because we have other schools on the rise down here in Florida. You have UCF, you have South Florida, you have FAU and FIU. And these schools are now sharing those talented athletes that we've been getting from out of our backyards. And instead of going to those powerhouses in Florida, they're getting a chance to go to those other schools. So that's the thing what's going on down here in Florida. We beating each other up for talent, But I truly believe that if we can see one or two of those schools get back to those promising days, then that will make college football a much better place.
Definitely. Mike, do you have any others to add to that list?
No, well, I'm just glad that Baylor has managed to stick their head out for a little bit, and hopefully they'll be able to do it again in the future.
Definitely. You know, unfortunately, University of Richmond, my alma mater, will never make the list. So I'm not gonna say never. Never say never, but oh well.
Right.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about this virtual NFL draft. I know this is obviously unique for all of us. None of us have ever been through anything like this, but it's still happening, and that's what we need to focus on. You know, the one thing that remains the same is just the feelings that we all have about football and about being able to participate, even though it is virtually. So can you take us through the thought process and emotions that the players are likely feeling right now, regardless of whether or not, you know, it's different or the same or anything like that? How are they actually feeling right now?
Regardless of this is virtual or this thing was like it was last year, those guys that have made it to this moment are still, you know, they probably couldn't sleep last night. I'm sure today was like a blur. It was almost like one of those Spike Lee films where they was walking, but everything else was around them was moving, and they were just basically standing still. That's how my day went in 2001. I knew it was here. I remember being that kid at 6, 7 years old, as early as I can remember, that said that, you know, when I saw that Miami Dolphins, you know, bus and a cargo bus and everything go up on that expressway down in Miami, down in Liberty City in front of my house, and I said I was going to do that one day, that day it finally came. And I can just imagine these guys who are sitting here tonight to get ready to say that, you know, this dream has come true. You know, you have to understand, a lot of guys, you know, lean on what we do for a living, as in being NFL players, whether it's NBA, you know, Major League Baseball, you name it. Sports is our way out, and football was one of those ways out for me. And I was just privileged just to see that everything that I dreamt, everything I thought I can do, it was happening. And you go through so many trials and tribulations that you sometimes, if you allow it to, it can sink in and you can have doubt. If you don't have doubt, you see this day. And I think a lot of those guys have went through that. They didn't doubt themselves. They just kept pushing forward. So today is here, and I know that they're ready and can't wait to get their name called.
Yeah, and they likely don't care whether or not it's virtual or not. When they hear their name called, that's all that matters. And so last question, Mike, I want to come to you first on this. When your name was called, you know, what was the first thing that you did? And what do you think these players will likely do as well when they hear their names called?
First thing I did was I thanked God, and then I, for about 5-10 minutes, exhausted myself pumping the air.
No doubt.
And after I was completely exhausted, I picked up the phone and called my parents, and then 7th round, Buffalo. Oh! Take the phone away from my ear. It's a dream come true. It's like Santana said. In 6th grade, I knew I wanted to play for professional football, and 11 years of putting in hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, you sit there vulnerable, not knowing whether or not they're going to call your name or not. Mm-hmm. And then when they do call your name, man, I tell you, it's a ton of bricks off your shoulders.
Yeah. Same thing for you, Santana, I assume?
Yeah, it was a fabulous day, man. My hair is standing up now just thinking about it. I was home in Myrtle Grove down here in Carroll City, Miami, just with my immediate family, my mom, my dad, my brothers. Probably had a homeboy or two. I had my girl, I had my son, and my agent. And I remember leading up to that day, I told everyone I didn't want nothing special. You know, I felt that, you know, it's been a long journey, so let me enjoy it with the people that have been here from day one. And I remember my agent just working the phones. You know, coming into the draft, the Dolphins was trying to get me as cheap as they could, and they was putting rumors out there, false rumors about it. It's never been a guy my size to ever be selected high in the 1st round. There was a rumor out there after my pro day that if I was 5'11", I would be the first receiver taken. And there's so much stuff going on, but it was just odd to me that after all the things I did for 4 years, even the way I got into college, that you had any doubt. And it happens, you know, these experts always have the answers. They have the clues. They know everything. And I was just happy to have that date. And regardless of where I went, whether it was going to be a first round, second, third, I was going to see that I made it to my destination. But I knew that just making it there wasn't going to be, you know, enough for me. But once that name was called, I just remember my agent telling me, get ready. I'm on the phone. The Jets moving up to get you. I remember standing next to my mom and my dad, and I could just feel the tears wanting ready to come to my eyes. And instead of me crying, I can feel theirs too. And I remember nudging both of them and like, please don't get mushy, because I knew I was going to be mushy right with them. And once this did it, it was just like, it's over, man. But I was almost shocked because I didn't celebrate. You know, I had friends that were like, what we doing tonight? I didn't celebrate. I didn't want to do nothing, man. I was strictly about business. And I just said, hey, man, it's not over. Now it's time for me to definitely get ready and go and show this team what they selected, you know, make sure that they know they don't have no doubt in their mind that they got the right guy.
Yeah, I can only imagine just, you know, kind of the end of one era, working so hard to accomplish something, finally reaching that point, being excited, being emotional, but then realizing this is a new beginning, this is a new chapter. So obviously we are beyond ecstatic that both of you all were drafted and eventually ended up at home with the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
And obviously appreciate you all answering all of the questions that I have for you. But now we kind of want to give someone else an opportunity to ask you some questions as well. So for anyone that has come to FedEx Field, you likely know this person without a doubt. Stephen Boyd is going to join us now. He is a Redskins super fan, and I'm probably even underestimating that. He's also known as the Redskins rally captain. He really is a super fan. He brings his customized Redskins flag to every single Redskins rally, and he organizes trips to just about every single away game. So, Stephen, thank you so much for being here. And I know that you had a question or two for our gentleman, so I'm going to turn it on over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Mike, Santana. Good evening.
What's up?
So first, I want to say thank you again to USAA. Being a half-century member of myself from USAA, I want to give them a huge shout out, as well as the men and women of the Pentagon Police Department who are still protecting those who protect our nation.
No doubt.
So, Mike, you're at Baylor, and this is going to be same to you, Santana. You're at Baylor, and it's 1977. Mm-hmm. At what point did you know that you were going to be a pro? That, you know what, I can do this. Was it your senior year that you said, you know what, I think I can become a pro. I think I can do this.
I always thought that I could from the 6th grade, and I started working then. And of course, as a 6th grader, I didn't have the attributes necessary to make that claim. But I knew I was going to put the work in, and that when it was time, I'd be there. So early on, I knew what I wanted to do, and I worked a long time to get there. And it's like Santana says, man. I mean, it's a lot of work and a lot of stress, and a big weight off your shoulder when it comes true.
Okay. And Santana?
Same for me. Honestly, you know, when I got to the University of Miami, the way I got in was odd as all outdoors. But I remember my first year being a guy that walked onto the team. The way, you know, University of Miami got me in the door. I was a track guy. So fortunate enough that I've done enough being a state champion, you know, in high school in track, that UM sought me out. And when word got around from a couple of players that was playing on the team that grew up with me, it was like, hey, I heard you going out to check out Carroll City Senior High. Y'all have 2 prospects. Well, watch the receiver. We didn't throw the ball, and, you know, it was just one of those things. But the coaches came back, said, yeah, you know, they actually threw him the ball today, and I got off. And they was like, he can play here. He's been playing with us since he was a jitterbug. You know, they used to get me out of the house. These guys was 17, 18 years old. I was 11 and 12 years old, and they was always getting me to, you know, to hold down their teams. But when I got in the door, after my first practice or 2, I remember going against Dwayne Starks. He was all Big East defensive back, and he was our senior. He was going to be the guy that's riding off into the smoke at the end of the season that was going to be one of the draft picks I got a chance to play with. And I remember him I asked him a question one day, you know, in practice, like, you know, why are you covering me every day? You know, why me? You know, I'm the walk-on guy. And he said, you got something special. And I've already had that mentality that that's where I wanted to go. My destination was to go into the NFL, regardless of how I get there and regardless of how that you know, how long that road, you know, was that I traveled to get there. When he gave me that assurance that I can be one of those guys, and I think he didn't have to say you could be an NFL player. Him telling me that I had something special made me know this guy's going to be one of our first round picks this year. If he thinks that, then I think that even more. And so every week, every year, I just, you know, progressively gotten better. And before you know it, my senior year, you know, they was telling me I was going to be a first round pick.
Okay. So obviously we are doing this virtual draft, which is unprecedented. No one has ever done it before. Mike, if you can think back, how much has the draft changed from the time that you were drafted to Santana to where you were drafted? How much has it changed? Did they have a stage? I don't remember them calling people up on the stage or anything like that back when you were going through things, Mike. I think it was just a phone call, right?
Yeah, it was a phone call. I was awakened by a phone call.
So you had no clue?
You know, from 2001 to now, it's bigger. I believe in 2001 it was big. They started letting a lot more players go to New York around that time. I remember I was asked, you know, do you want to go there? And I'm like, nah, you're not going to make a fool out of me, have me in New York. And I don't get my name called and I'm sitting there looking like, you know, stuck. But honestly, it's changed dramatically, I think, over the years when you look at just, you know, how big it is now. I mean, you know, NFL, the football is the #1 sport in the world. You know, if you think about it, it's so much that we have to look forward to when it comes to sports. But the NFL has somehow surpassed a lot of other sports and sport leagues. And to see where it's at today, it's ridiculous. It's almost amazing just to see it continue to grow year after year after year.
So, Mike, when you were finally drafted, were you saying, I know you said you were working out of your sleep. Was it a situation where in your mind, yeah, I know I'm going to get drafted so I can just relax and not worry about it? Or was it a situation where you just were just that nervous?
That nervous. I'm a Christian. I pray a lot.
Gotcha.
And, I don't, things out of my control, I don't sweat. So I pray, I relax, I chill. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If God wants it to happen, it'll happen. So, man, I was sweating a little while because I didn't get called the first day. You know, I was hoping to get called the first day. I didn't get called the first day. So I'm in the bed sleeping.
Gotcha.
And I was awakened and God blessed me with the opportunity. And that's all I wanted was a chance to get my foot in the door. And 7th round was fine with me. I mean, if you want to get, if you hand a kid, an 8-year-old, a box of donuts and then tell them that you can't eat it until tomorrow, they're happy, but then they're kind of like sad. Happy, but kind of sad. But it didn't happen for me. I was elated to get drafted in the 7th round and get that opportunity.
Santana, so the question that I have for you is, did you know that, I know that you guys get phone calls and you kind of get tipped off a little bit, but did you feel that you should have gone higher, or do you feel as though you were pretty much right at your niche at the that spot that you took at 7?
You know, I didn't understand the draft then or now. I never understood how you can look at, you know, a guy and said that he shouldn't go in front of this guy because of his size or whatever it may be. But I was really gifted when it came to being one of those wide receivers that was coming out that year. It was a bunch of us. So I didn't know who was better or not, because you can't compare off of stats. You got to only compare off of what they do on the field. I knew I was lighting up the field every time I touched the ball in college. And to be, you know, to do the things that I did the way I got in there, to me, that was, you know, that surpassed all those guys' imagination. So I never understood why would they not pick me high or low. I didn't care about that. All I knew is that I did enough in 4 years to have this day come. And regardless of where it landed at, I was gonna be ecstatic, and I was just that, because I knew that I put the work in. The work was already done. So now I just sit back and relax and wait. And the way I relaxed, it was a lot like Mike just said. I got a little nervous too once I saw a couple of receivers that was taller than me, but didn't do, they couldn't compare with what I had done in 4 years, and they did. And I asked for a glass of yak, and I remember asking for that thing, like, you know what, I need a stiff one. And I was sitting back just like, man, this is crazy. And then before you know it, a couple of phone calls later, man, I was getting my name called.
Right, and I think that you bring up a good point. It's just like we never know what's really going to happen with the draft, because it's not solely dependent on the talent and even what's been shown on the field in the prior season or the season before that. It's also about the picks and the order in which the teams get to pick and what holes they need to fill based on the talent that is available. So that's why there's just so much unknown, which is why we're sitting here having this discussion, right? Because we just don't know what can happen. What I do know is that in the chat, we're getting a whole lot of comments about the fact that this is great, that the rally captain had some good questions, and that
great questions.
Love having
both Santana
and Mike on.
Great.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Rally Captain. We really appreciate you and your decor in your Redskins room. It looks absolutely amazing, so thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Hope to see you soon, buddy. Take care.
All right, so now I want to bring, hey, Stephanie. I was like, I want to bring Stephanie on, and there she is. So we really wanted to open up this pre-draft party to some more fans out there. I see that the chat is just going crazy, but we really just want to make sure that we have the opportunity for other participants here with us today to ask some questions as well. So I really want to remind you, though, that you have to use the Q&A function for this portion, okay? So we're actually going into Q&A. We want to open it up to everyone that is on, and Stephanie has basically been looking at some of the questions. It's going to go into the Q&A section and pull a couple for Santana and Mike. So Stephanie, can I turn it over to you?
Sure. So Santana, we have a family question here for you. Your cousin, Zach, is that your cousin? I'm curious if, going to be drafted maybe second round, and two parts. What would you say to an NFL team that was maybe calling you about him for some insight? And then what advice have you been giving him?
Well, when it comes down to it, and it's crazy because I've been getting questions probably for the last month about family members, and I have so many different ones. The way I kind of got the news about Zach being my cousin is the same way I did when it came to James White and a couple of other guys who's in the league now. Is we have a big family, and they're second and first cousins from your mom or your dad. First cousins, you know what I mean? They're their kids. So you're like, wow, I didn't never meet him. But Zach is a guy I paid attention to. He reached out to me a couple of years ago, and he said, hey, man, we might be cousins. And I'm like, yeah, he's from Miami, and his family, some kind of way, we might be related. So I just been keeping in touch with him. But if someone ever called and asked me about him, from what I've seen, man, he was a guy that was consistent. He held it down every week. When it came down to it, it's hard. One of the things people fail to realize, when you at the level of where some of us at, Mike, when he knew he was getting ready to be drafted, myself, guys like Zach, guys like these other guys who projected to go in the draft period, it's hard to be that guy every weekend because the team that you're facing have you circled. They have you on their radar saying that this is a guy we can't let beat us. And when you find those guys steady coming up on SportsCenter, putting up those plays, that's because those guys, see through that. They know that they have a job to do, and they make sure they get it done. So if any NFL team is looking for a player that's been consistent throughout his college years, and when he had the radar or had that bullseye on him, he did that. He showed you that he can play under the pressure. So I think that he's ready for the next level, no doubt.
Cool. Thank you. All right, I'm going to ask a question because I was entertained by this on tour with Mike. Mike, what was your favorite memory of Super Bowl 17?
Wow, favorite memory of Super Bowl 17. Favorite memory.
How about the fact that he went to Super Bowl 17?
Yeah. How about that ring he wears?
Listen, it's so much pressure for me. Again, at halftime, I'm thinking I'm going to be totally exhausted if I don't do something. So I say a few prayers, lay in my locker, and I fall asleep. Then they wake me up, and then it's like, oh, where am I? I'm Super Bowl. Oh, back again. We win. The thing it took me 2 weeks to realize that we won, and to really be able to celebrate. I mean, because you suppress so much. I suppressed celebrating so much so that it wouldn't interfere with my performance or anything else. That you can't relax. Mm-hmm. And then so it took a couple of weeks for me to relax, to realize, what the heck? We won the Super Bowl. So it took me a minute for it to set in. Maybe other guys, it didn't. But for me, for me to wake up in the morning and go, hey, we won the Super Bowl. It took a while.
That's awesome. So then I'm going to go down memory lane one more. Santana had a question about the Dallas game where you had 2 touchdowns. If you could tell us a story or something from that game that you can share with everybody.
Oh, man, it was dope. Honestly, it was my second game as a Redskin. Just been traded that season. The first game of the season was against Chicago. I had a nice performance. We won the game. We had no touchdowns in that game, and we won the game, I believe 6-3 or something like that, or 6-zip. Not sure. But I had a pretty good game, and it was a great outing just to see how my stint here going to start. It started off pretty well. Dallas game, we getting our butts kicked the entire game. I had no clue of why and what reason, but we just wasn't doing anything. And I recall a moment in the fourth quarter just being exhausted of just, man, I'm out here every play, and I haven't had a pass thrown my way yet. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, we put all this work in this week to go out here and do this and do that. I had a couple of plays that I asked Coach, can I do? Because Aaron Glenn was a cornerback on the other side that, just like Dwayne Starks did to me my rookie season in college as a rookie with the Jets, Aaron Glenn was one of the top dog corners in the league. And he followed me around in training camp saying that he wanted to make sure that he break me in the right way. And I appreciated him for that because he was one of the best of the game. But I told our coaches that, hey, I watched Aaron Glenn play against the Colts and Marvin Harrison run a play on him every time we played him, and he was always successful. So we put that in our game plan, and we hadn't ran it yet. And Porter's come over to me. The game is about over, and I guess Porter's being Porter's how he normally do, asking me what's wrong. Well, let's start thinking about next week. He asked me what was up, and I was pissed. I'm like, bro, we put all this practice in, and we haven't done nothing I asked. He like, you ain't get the ball thrown? Nah. And Porter's walked away. He comes back with Coach Gibbs. Coach Gibbs like, you want to run the Dino? I'm like, what the hell you think? Like, I didn't ask you guys to put this in for nothing. He said, all right, I got you. And the next series, we come out, and bam, we ran it. It was a touchdown. And I'm sitting there. I remember throwing my hands up. I remember the thing vividly because I threw my hands up like, well, at least they gave me a reason to be happy on this flight home that I got the ball thrown and I was able to score. And I remember coming to the sideline, I'm taking a breather, and he came back to me and said, get ready, because if we get this ball back, we're going at him again. And I was like, shit, let me see what's going on. So I straightened up, and those guys got the ball back, and before you know it, we caught another one, and it was like wham, bam, and it was just like a blur to me because I'm like, we just did this. And to me, that season couldn't start no better because we went on from that year. I think we was 12-4 that year. We had a great season and, a great playoff run as well.
Awesome. There's so many questions coming for you guys. So many. Wide receivers. What do you think? Do you think that we'll pick one? And is that a need? We haven't had a top wide receiver. This is what the questions are saying. What are either of you, your thoughts on that?
I think it would be nice to have a wide receiver. You know more about that than I do.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody that I think is totally exceptional, or they haven't shown themselves to be that.
Yeah, we have some young guys that played exceptionally well last year. I think them alone can go out there and give us what they gave us last year and a little bit more now that they got a chance to really get the taste of this league. but getting more is always, is always great adding to it. I think it's a lot of guys in this draft that we can look at. I'm not sure who we probably will pick up. Probably somebody in the second day we probably will grab, but there's a lot of talent out there at that position. Some of the guys I like, Judy and CD Lamb, those guys, we won't be getting them guys, but man, those guys are the guys to watch for, because those guys will be probably drafted in the first round. They have a Jefferson kid from LSU. I thought he played well too this year. It's a toss-up, but I'm not sure if that's a position that we really need to, fill a void at. But I'm sure that with the picks that we have, we probably slide one or two guys in there late in the draft.
I think this is an interesting question from Dan. Terry McLaurin had a great rookie year and pretty unexpected given his draft position. I know you took a lot of pride, Santana, in your ability to run routes. What is your evaluation of Terry from a professional perspective?
He exceeded everyone's expectations last year. I think even mine, because I watched him in college, and he wasn't like Haskins' go-to guy. He made plays when they came his way. When he got into this league, when he got on that Redskins team, I don't know what went through his thought process of how he handled his offseason, but that's a guy, he showed you last year he living right. And we have a saying that we say when we play ball, when you see guys that everything that they did or do, they just can't miss. He was doing that last season. That showed me that he take his job very seriously. I think the world of him after last season. He made every contested catch. He beat you downfield. He caught the underneath balls and took it to the house. He did everything you can ask for in the receiver. And the toughest part of what he's going to have to now do is do it again. And that's the thing that about, being who he's going to be expected to be. That's why certain guys make it, far into the NFL, and that's why certain guys don't. I think he has what it takes to be one of those guys that we can rely on week in and week out. And he has a great cast around him. Sims, Harmon, all those guys can play ball. So I think he's going to be the leader of that group. I believe somewhere he should get at least a veteran to come in to be a part of that group, because they still need someone that they can talk to and be there for them when they have questions that might just be, something that they just don't know because they're so young and they're so raw. But regardless of who you bring in, Terry can lead them by himself.
Stephanie, can I ask a question really quick?
Yes, ma'am.
There's so many, it's hard to narrow them down. But being that we know the lives of, some players are going to dramatically change within the next few hours, I would like to ask both of you, and this is a great question, what advice would you give to these gentlemen starting their NFL careers? So Mike, I'll start with, Santana, go ahead.
No, I'm going to let Mike go first.
Okay, Mike.
Logistically, I would say if a guy makes the team, gets drafted high, I would say he needs to find himself a realtor, get himself a location somewhere close to Redskin Park, and try to practice a little anonymity. If he's not an overly gregarious guy, then he should be able to do that, and later on in life he'll appreciate it. But if he's a gregarious type, then he won't have that big of a problem. But I think they need to get to work. I think they need to stay out of Stupidville. Don't do things that are stupid. When that little voice speaks to you, it's real. Listen to it, and move away from it. And I don't know. Find a veteran, a guy like Santana, man. And talk to him. The guys will talk to you and give you insights that you can use and will help you to further your career. So that's a few things I would say for someone who would get drafted by the Redskins, and know that it looks like you're going to join a very nice organization.
Yeah, no doubt. What I have to say about anybody that's going to be a Redskin, any one of those young guys, Mike hit it dead on when he's saying find a veteran. They have a few there. I know one especially in the linebacker, Bostic. Last year we came in and spoke, a lot of the old guys, me, Clinton, a lot of the guys, I believe Gary Clark is one of the guys. We had a panel where Black is the NFL personnel guy in there for the young guys, basically show them how to get around, where to live, everything that they can just imagine you're going to have somebody there that's going to be there for you to help you with your finances, you name it. But find a guy that has it down pat. When I was young, I had a lot of those guys with the Jets my first 4 years. And then I got away from those guys. And then when I got to the Redskins, it was more like we was leading the pack. It was a lot of young guys leading the team. And we did what we wanted. We did how we do it. But find a guy that knows how to be a pro on and off the field. Ask him all the questions. Any question you can think of, how he keeps, where he keeps his money, how he spends. Does he has a limit of certain things he do during the season? You name it. One of the reasons why I think I was successful, throughout the years I played when it come to how I was able to do things is I sacrificed a lot to just make sure that I can be consistent. I had my fun in the off season. I've always found time for that because you need that exhale. But when it was time to report in April, that's when those things started trickling down, started making sure that now it's time to get back close to where I know that's going to pay these bills and why I'm here. And so those young guys are going to have to know that, with getting drafted and being a part of this now, this is something that they're going to come upon that it's going to blow their mind, because now they're going to have this ridiculous amount of money that half of us don't even know how to, know what to do with at this age, at the age that they're at now. And they just going to think that everybody that comes their way, whatever story they might come with, that they have to be, the solution or be the savior for that person. No, please don't. I was a guy that listened to everybody and tried to help everybody. And when you find out at the end that when you need that help, those guys ain't going to be around for you. So thankfully and luckily that I've always depended on me, and I don't have to look for somebody to help me. But I just want those guys to know that, like Mike say, first think about playing ball, make sure they have that down pat. Think about taking care of home, because not your entire family, but your home. And from there, find somebody that can guide you through those things, because you're going to need help. You don't know, and you're going to be clueless, and there's going to be a lot of stuff and a lot of people come at you that you're not going to have an answer for. Big time.
Well said for both of you. And you know what, everyone listening, the majority of us are not NFL players. We will never be NFL players, but the advice that you just gave literally stands true for every single person, right? Making sure that you know your craft and that you're doing the work to be the best that you can be at whatever it is that you're doing, taking care of yourself and your family, and finding a mentor, finding a coach, finding someone that you trust that can lead you in the right direction. And I know the NFL has a lot of programs available to players as well to help with finances, to help with, mental clarity and all of that, which is wonderful. So thank you for that advice. I have to say, the hashtag for the evening, most definitely, hashtag stay out of Stupidville. I love it. I feel like I just need to put that somewhere. Hashtag stay out of Stupidville. And that literally everyone needs to take that advice. Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for helping out with that part. What we're going to do now for everyone that is on with us, we want to give you the opportunity to take a selfie with Mike and with Santana. So Stephanie and I are going to get rid of our videos so that you all can smile and grab that selfie with these two amazing men. So go ahead, snap away. Santana and Mike, if y'all can go ahead and smile nicely, because I'm going to get mine too. Awesome. All right. Well, I hope everyone was able to snatch that picture. We're going to wait just a couple more seconds just in case some of you all are still trying to grab that picture. Okay, awesome. Well, it obviously goes without saying that we really, really appreciate you both joining us tonight. I know I cannot say it enough. Whenever I need someone to interview on game day, or when I'm just looking for a very nice, friendly, warm face on the sidelines, you all are there. So thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for your dedication to the Redskins organization and for the years that you put on that burgundy and gold uniform. We appreciate you as our Redskins alumni, and even more for being here tonight. Have a great evening. And again, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Give them virtual claps as they exit. Wonderful. What an amazing opportunity. Thank you all so much for participating in the Q&A. And I know that we could not get to everyone's questions There were so many coming in, a lot of really, really good questions, but hopefully you all found some value in that. Just hearing the stories of both of these men, knowing that they're human just like us. You know, when something is about to happen, something exciting, something out of your comfort zone a little bit, that everyone's nervous, right? Everyone has a little bit of doubt in their mind. But, you know, like what Mike said, he just put his trust in the man upstairs, and everyone has their own coping mechanisms. And we're all human. We're all family, and hopefully we all bleed burgundy and gold, right? Okay, so now what we want to go ahead and do is have our pre-draft party competitions. So I think that we are calling for volunteers for our first competition. If anyone wants to join in, let us know. But basically, we're looking for some volunteers to sing the best song ever, Hail to the Redskins, for a chance to win some autographed memorabilia. So I think Stephanie was going to help me figure out who was coming on. Let me just make sure I know exactly, get my list together here.
I think we were going to bring Cash on from
Perfect.
WOW.
Okay. Yep. So Cash, she is a WOW member and a teacher. And I met her for the first time actually just last weekend when we did the coffee chat for the women. Oh, there you are. Hey, Cash, how are you? Thank you for participating. All right. So do you think you're ready? Can you go ahead and clear
I hear
out
music in my ears.
You do all the time, right? All right. Well, you know what? Whenever you are ready, let's go ahead.
Hail to the Redskins. Hail victory. Braves on the warpath. Fight for ODC. Woo!
That was awesome. And you know, of course, Stephanie and I are like doing our punches, just like it, like whenever I hear that song, I automatically want to start dancing. That was awesome. I think you did pretty good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. We will be announcing who the winner is in just a moment. All
So
right.
Chris
We have number
next.
2, Stephanie.
Yep, Chris.
All right, Chris. So Chris is a member of Redskins Salute and one of the hog farmers, I believe. There we go. I like your gear. I'm digging it. How are you doing tonight?
Hello.
All right, so are you ready? Your vocal cords, you know, did you drink some hot tea? Are you good?
I'm ready to go.
All right, let's hear what you got.
All right. Hail to the Redskins. Hail victory. Praise on the warpath. Fight for ODC. Woo!
Love the hat. Love it.
Awesome. I think you might get an extra point maybe for the attire. We'll have to see what everyone thinks when the votes come in. Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. All right, Stephanie, who do we have next?
I believe Rich is on. So let's see if he comes on. And if not, we'll pick somebody else.
All right, so is Rich in the house?
Yep. All right. That's
awesome. Hello. So, Rich, who do you have with you?
I got my wife, Stephanie, here with me.
Hello, wife, Stephanie. You have a great name.
I think so.
Okay, so let me just make sure. So, you're Rich, you're part of the Redskins Salute, right? And you are active duty Air Force?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your service. And Stephanie, thank you for all that you do as a wife of a service member. We appreciate you too.
Yeah,
are y'all ready?
I just got home from work. That's why I'm in uniform.
I love the uniform. Hey, it looks good on you.
I agree. Again.
All right, whenever you all are ready.
All right. Hail to the Redskins. Hail victory. Braves on the warpath, fight for ODC. Runner pass and score, we want a lot more. Beat 'em, slump 'em, touchdown, let the points soar.
Fight on, till you have won, sons of Washington. Rock, rock, rock.
Oh my gosh! I was not expecting that. That was the best ever.
That was epic.
Love you,
Thank you.
Redskin Nation.
Yes, awesome. Really quick though, before you go, can you introduce your children, please?
This is Noah,
Hi.
Colton,
Hello.
and Eliana.
Oh, awesome. You all are Redskins pre-draft party famous now, just so you know.
Yes. Yes. And in the
Awesome.
comments, everyone said hands down winner, the family wins.
Yeah, oh my gosh, a whole lot of comments coming in. You all did an amazing job. That was awesome. The family wins. Fabulous job. Yes, they are winners. Oh, there was a question. Where are you stationed, if you don't mind us asking?
At Eglin Air Force Base in Florida.
And this draft party has been crazy because we have tornado sirens going off throughout the whole thing.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? I went to Eglin Air Force Base. It was my first tour as a Redskins cheerleader. So my very first performance for the military was there. So that's so cool.
Nice. You'll have to make sure they come back again.
Okay. Stephanie has connections with that department. So
And
I'm
There you go.
Camilla's watching this, the director, so.
There are a ton of Redskins fans here on the space, actually in the area. So.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you know, everything that you're doing for our country. We appreciate you all coming on and joining us tonight. Obviously, your family is amazing. That element of surprise, I think, really just put you all over the top. So thank you again. We really, really appreciate you all, and hail to the Redskins.
Hail to the Redskins.
Guys.
HTR.
Wow, that was great. Awesome. Well, I mean, of course, okay. All of the fans, for the most part, over here in chat definitely voted for, you know, the family, which I agree, that was really, really cool. But within our Redskins family, obviously, we're all winners. Everyone is fantastic. So everyone will receive an autographed memorabilia from the Washington Redskins and USAA. So thank you so much for participating. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so now we get to start our second competition. Stephanie, you're going to stay on with me, I believe.
Yes.
And so this is all about testing your Redskins knowledge. So we actually want to have a Redskins trivia. Many of these questions are going to be draft related, of course, but not all of them. And what we're going to do is we have 10 different questions. And the first person to answer the question correctly, so the first correct answer that we see in the chat feed, is going to win a Redskins fan pack, okay? And what you want to do is just monitor your chat, because we're either going to contact you privately through chat to get your email address, or we will just contact you via email, because for many of you, we already have your email addresses. So I just want to remind you, once again, you have to use the chat function for this competition. And here's another little thing to remember. Once you win, so we are going to announce the winner after each question. Once you win, you cannot win again. So if you can, please just don't respond after you win. That way it doesn't confuse us, and we are always picking a new winner for every question. So I think that's it. Stephanie, did I leave anything off there?
No, you didn't. Nope. Yeah, That's exactly right. And again, if we didn't get to your question in the Q&A, there were some amazing, amazing questions in there. If we end up doing virtual Redskins rallies, keep these questions because they were pretty awesome. So.
Yep. Wonderful. Okay, so here is question number 1. Again, make sure that you are in the chat window, not in the Q&A window. So you were in Q&A window for the section with Santana and Mike. So now we are moving over into the chat, and Stephanie has her eyeballs glued there, as you can see. Those pretty eyes. All right, here you go. Question number 1. What was the original name of the Washington Redskins when they were purchased in 1932?
Oh my gosh, it's going so fast. Okay, stop.
You're gonna have to scroll down. I like literally saw that out the corner of my eye, and it was moving so fast.
Oh my goodness, guys, you are, wow. I really apologize. Okay, you guys are smart. I think I saw Sarah was the first one. I hate to take this long to figure this out.
Oh wait, I see Raymond was first.
Raymond?
Yeah, because it's right under the question asking if I'm in relation to Chris
Chris
Samuels.
Samuels, I saw that.
No, I'm not. But our grandfathers my grandfather grew up in Alabama, and he's from Alabama. So I don't know. There could be some relation there. But what does it say on your feed? I think we should go off of your feed, Stephanie, because it may come in differently.
I see. I'm sorry, guys. A lot of y'all got this question correct. Raymond. Yep.
Yeah, Raymond. Okay, that's what I thought. That was the
Raymond
first.
Is it Galkowski? All right.
Perfect. All right. So congratulations, Raymond. Remember, you cannot participate in any of the other questions.
I mean, I'm about to do this.
Okay, here we go. Question number 2. Y'all are so smart. This is so impressive. Okay. Who was the first player ever drafted by the Redskins? First player ever drafted by the Redskins.
Robert Simmons said Sammy Ball.
Nope, that's not correct.
Okay, then, hold on. This is really hard. Riley Smith is the correct answer, and Tammy.
Yep, Tammy.
Yep. So Tammy, we're gonna reach out to you, both of you guys and Raymond, to get your email addresses.
Awesome. All right, congratulations, Tammy. Question number 3. Who was the Redskins' first overall pick in the 2004 draft? So the Redskins' first overall pick in the 2004 draft.
Okay, hold please, guys. Oh my goodness. It is Sean Taylor. You guys are absolutely right. So Sarah, nope, Rich.
Yep. Rich, awesome. Congratulations, Rich.
Yep.
Okay, question number 4. Who is winner number 4?
Okay.
Ready, Stephanie?
Uh-huh.
Who was the Redskins' first overall pick in the 2019 draft? 2019 draft. Redskins' first overall.
Nelson got it. Lisa Nelson got Dwayne Haskins.
Awesome. So Dwayne Haskins was the correct answer, and Lisa won. Y'all are impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, up next, question number 5. What year was Darrell Green drafted? What year was Darrell Green drafted?
Richard Johnson got it, 1983.
Nice.
Okay, hold on. All right.
Okay, and he didn't win, did he, already?
No.
Okay.
No, Rich Kreitz won.
Oh, Rich.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, getting my R's mixed up.
No.
Okay, number 6. Who was the Redskins' first overall pick in 2011? 2011.
Yep, Troy. Ryan Kerrigan.
Yep.
Good job, Troy. Troy Dodd.
Oh, I think Corey up top. So let's send it to both. Yeah.
Okay, Corey and Troy.
Yeah, we'll give them to both of them because it was a whole bunch of RG3s, and then way, way, way at the top was Corey.
All right. Sorry, Corey.
That's all right. Hey, we're all winners. All right, here we go. Before Dwayne, who was the last quarterback drafted in the first round by the Redskins?
Ricky, were you answering the old one or this one? Ricky won. Ricky Bryant. You didn't even get it out all the way. Okay.
I know, and it's so funny because I keep seeing the thing go up on the corner of my eye. Okay, number 8. Here we go. Here it comes. What player was selected the last time the Redskins had the first overall pick in the draft? It was in 1962. 1962. So what player was selected the last time the Redskins had the first overall pick in the draft? And the hint there.
Oh, right there. William. Is it Arnell Williams? And it was Ernie Davis.
Okay. Good job. Good job.
Yep.
All right. Number 9. Come on, y'all. You got 2 more chances. 2 more chances.
You're about to light me up on this one. Arnell, thank you. Okay. It's
Okay.
Watkins or no Watkins. Got it.
Okay, number 9. Who is the Redskins?
I'm about to get lit up.
Yeah, you're getting ready to get lit up. So, who is the Redskins' current?
Eric Jeter. Did he win already? No, he won.
Even say it.
I think I gave it away.
Eric, how did you do that? Did you see Eric first? Who did you see first on your end?
I think Eric.
That was funny. Y'all are funny. Okay, here we go. Number 10, come on. Number 10, here we go. Who did the Redskins beat in the NFC Championship to advance to the Super Bowl 17?
Oh, Dallas. Somebody said it. Christine.
Christine. Awesome. That was so much fun.
Wow, that was stressful. Good
Oh,
job,
let's throw in a bonus one.
Okay.
Sort of Redskins related, but not.
Okay.
What is the sponsor for tonight's pre-draft virtual party?
Chris. I saw Chris, but I need to know the last name. Chris. Yep, Esquivel. I hope I didn't butcher it totally.
Awesome. Yes. USAA. Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Esquivel. Okay.
All right, perfect. So I think we have about 11, 12 winners. So congratulations to all of you. Super excited for you. We have some very intelligent, smart, and quick Redskins fans. And some of you that like have some sort of telepathic way of knowing what I'm going to say. So that's really cool.
Right.
All right. So we're coming to the close, unfortunately, of our pre-draft party because obviously the draft is going to get started a little bit. So we wanted to wrap up our party. And obviously we heard from Santana and Mike earlier. They both expressed who they feel we will select, but we're really curious who you all think we should select. So I don't want you all to be biased. I don't want you to select Chase Young just because both of them selected Chase Young. So we actually have a poll that we want you all to participate in. And
all
so
right.
Whenever Stephanie, she's like the woman with the power. So there are your 2 pre-draft poll questions that we have for you. So number 1, who will the Redskins draft tonight? And question number 2, will you tune in to our live stream on Saturday? So the Redskins draft party. We are going virtual, guys, again on Saturday. So who is going to join us? And I'm hoping that it's going to be 100% participation because we basically have a full house tonight, which is so cool. All right, we're going to let you all kind of type in your responses, give you a couple more seconds.
Yep, a couple more seconds once the timer gets to a minute.
I wonder I'm really curious about number 1, like what the percentages will be.
Yeah, okay, I am going to shut it down.
Drum roll, please.
All right, here's the results. Okay. Chase Young, 79%. So, yeah. And yeah, everyone's going to be at the live stream on Saturday too.
Wonderful. Yes, we hope to see you there for sure. Interesting, with those results, the second, even though it was far below second, was to trade. So that's kind of interesting as well.
Yeah, 14%. But yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I'm so excited. I don't know what it is about this draft, maybe because there's all this hype about it being virtual and there's all this talk about Chase Young and what are the Redskins going to do. And there just seems to be like, I don't know, it's just really exciting to see what's going to happen. So I cannot wait to tune in. But we have our own party coming up on Saturday. So definitely glad to hear that a lot of people plan on joining us. So do you want to make sure, just in case people don't know about our event on Saturday, Stephanie, can you just let everyone know what's up?
Sure. So the Redskins, we're going to be hosting a virtual draft experience online. It's going to be from 6 to 9. We have a special guest, Wale, who will be there. We'll also be having interviews with our coach, some of our current players. Very interactive, excited to be doing this. We were one of the first in the NFL to come up with this idea. So we have some very talented digital people that are working with us now that are going to make it fantastic. So you do need to register for this though. So make sure you go to redskins.com and sign up for this virtual draft experience on Saturday.
Awesome. So we hope everyone is going to be there. Literally, probably a once in a lifetime opportunity and experience for all of us. Not that I, don't enjoy this, connecting virtually, but it will likely never happen again this way, fingers crossed. So it really is a once in a lifetime opportunity for us to, participate in this way. So overwhelmingly, I'm just looking at the feed, Stephanie. I don't know if you can see it, but we are getting so many, thank yous for hosting. This was awesome. So much fun. Oh, thank you. You are two great hosts. This is wonderful. And obviously a lot of hail to the Redskins. And we just want to say thank you to you all for showing up, for being here. This was a lot of fun. Definitely the WOW organization and Redskins Salute, under the leadership of Stephanie and Alec, put in so much hard work, them and their teams, in making this possible for all of us tonight. So big kudos to both of you and your teams. Please send our thank you to all of them as well. And as a reminder for everyone that is on, the official 2020 NFL Draft can be watched on ABC or ESPN beginning at 8 p.m. tonight. And then, of course, the Redskins official Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube accounts will be live streaming reactions and updates throughout the night. So please be sure to tag Redskins Salute or Redskins Women of Washington if you have any questions or any concerns, or if you just want to share your excitement for everything that is happening right now and what's to come for the Redskins, FedEx Field, the Burgundy and Gold. So thank you so much for being here tonight. And on behalf of USAA, the Washington Redskins, WOW, Redskins Salute, again, thank you for joining us tonight. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay happy. And you know what we all say, guys, hail to the Redskins.
All right.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.